We're live.
You did go live.
It's exciting. It's very exciting for everyone. We remembered Kevin Cast. Let's see. I think my camera's a little high. How's that? Steve, you're not paying attention to me. How's that?
Hold on.
Camera. What do you mean, hold on? Just look at the picture.
I got too many audio feeds going.
Oh.
All right. Hit it again.
Hit what? I asked you if my camera's angle is good.
It looks pretty good. Yeah, it's acceptable. It's within normal operating parameters, as Data would say.
All right. Uh-oh. NASANut is getting spinning thing on podfeed.com/live.
I'm getting it fine on podfeed.com/live.
It says waiting for Allison Shuriken.
Anyone else having trouble on podfeed.com/live? It's working for me.
See if they won't be able to hear you if they can't see it. G'day, boys and girls and boys. Rose. All right, it is 5:01. We're going to do an early roll call with Brett and Kevin and Nick and Gino Troy and John, Rose, and Sandy. Okay, Sandy sees Podfeed live and has video. Video. Very excited. Steve was asking in video whether you could see the video. Is everybody who's not here, hold up your hand? One of those.
And can't hear me.
Yeah. All right, let me test a little audio playback here. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeed.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Wow, that audio sounded clean. Could you hear it?
Pretty good.
How about the listeners? So we're going to do GarageBand jingles. Podfeed on the small screen. Okay, Kevin Cass can hear us. That's good. That's Chit Chat. Why did you just drag Chit Chat in? No! I want to delete that. So I'm going to try a new thing. Steve loves it when I experiment with the podcast feed.
Heaven help us.
So there's a guy named Kevin M, not Ken M. Kevin M, who is blind and likes to know how long a podcast is before he starts to play it. And because of the way I upload my podcast, in the podcast app only, you can't see how long the show is. You can see how many megabytes, but you can't see that it's, an hour and 13 minutes or whatever. And if I change my process and I use Feeder to upload the audio file, I think you will be able to see how long the show is before you start to play it or before you download it. And so just for this one guy in 10 years, I'm going to change my process.
He may be the only one who's voiced the concern.
True. Has anybody ever noticed that? Hey, George snuck in.
And hey.
Hey. Yay.
Hey.
So, hey, tomorrow on Tuesday, we'll be in here at 10 o'clock in the morning our time, so that's only like 4 in the afternoon your time. You could potentially be awake and be here with us. Alistair's here too? Oh, hey, Alistair. I am finally going to play your another one of your audio recordings. Man, I've really milked these.
Oh, we got an important adjustment to be made. Your Podfeed pin is rotated.
Oh my gosh. What do you mean?
It's rotated away from the camera. There you go.
Oh, I thought you meant it was upside down and showing signs.
That's a bit of a reflection. Back a little bit more. Just a touch. There's a reflection on one of the feet.
Okay, stop talking. There. How's that?
Good.
Now you can talk.
Hold it.
When you talk, the picture disappears. So just it dropped in to see if I could. Not watching or listening today. Probably should be working. Okay, he's not watching.
Oh, are you talking to me?
No.
What did you see, John, in the Target area in Alabama? Let me see.
Target in little old Alabama.
Target.
Oh.
Ballast Point Beer in Target. Wow.
Wow. Nice. Wait, Brett's going to be in a work meeting at 10 a.m.?
Oh, Brett, you have a good excuse. You can get out of that. Just claim it's a national holiday.
That ain't right. Well, it is 5:05. We should probably get started. What do you think, Steve?
Let's do it.
All right. Places, everyone.
I'm going to mute.
All right, here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeed.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, September 10th, not 3rd, like it says in the show notes.
Nicely done.
Do that. Take two, everyone. Here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeed.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, September 10th, 2017, and this is show number 644. Well, we're just 2 days away from the big announcement from Apple, and everybody's all excited about it. Remember, if you want to join your fellow Nosilla castaways in a chat room during the announcement, you can head on over to podfeed.com/live and join in all the fun. Reminder, I will not be on video because we'll all be watching Apple, right? If you haven't been in the live chat before, though, this is a great time to try it out. And it's actually at a reasonable hour for our European and more Eastern nations. I'm looking at you, Haley. I expect you to be there. Anyway, there's instructions over at podfeed.com/live. So I hope you'll come over and join us. In Chit Chat Across the Pond this week, I invited Joe Duganzik back to the show to talk to us. I wanted him to talk about his new illustrated HomeKit product guide. It's great fun, as always, to talk to Joe. And in this case, he explains what kind of products are available now for HomeKit. And it's really cool because he's got these separated into sections, not by vendor, but by what they do. So there's a section for lighting, outlets and sockets, wall dimmers and switches, security devices like locks and cameras. There's thermostats, ceiling fans and shades, fire and smoke detectors, specialized sensors, like for air quality and water leaks. And there's even smart buttons, which I think are actually dumb buttons, but anyway, they've got them there. Check this episode out, I should say, in either Chit Chat Across the Pond Lite or the full Chit Chat Across the Pond feed in your favorite podcatcher of choice. Well, I think I mentioned last week or the week before that when I thought I was going to be out on vacation, Alistair Jenks had agreed to do the podcast, and he did a bunch of recordings for us, but then life got in the way and he wasn't able to host the show. And then I was able to do more content that week. So I've been milking out his recordings, and it turned out to be really, really helpful this week in particular. Steve and I had Forbes and Dodger, Lindsay and Nolan's son and dog. And we had him for about 4 days, and we had a great time. He is a delightful baby and a great dog, but we're too old to be parents of an infant, let me tell you that. So I didn't get a lot done. And so having Alistair's audio here to help us out and flesh out the show was fantastic. So let's have a listen to Alistair. All right. Oh, save. I should buy saved. Anybody else save yet? I don't see any saves.
Oh.
I had to do it all by myself. There's Kevin. How does he always know to do that?
I think he knows you well.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. I actually hate having my voice right before and after Alistair's. It's like going on after Robin Williams as a comedian, the
yes.
voice.
What happened to us?
I do my best. What's that?
That happened, right? Someone had to.
Yeah. No, it was actually the other way around. We saw Richard Pryor live on the Sunset Strip, and Steve turns to me and says, "Man, I would hate to be the guy who comes on after Richard Pryor." And it was Robin Williams. That was crazy. It was a surprise guest.
Yeah, that was a good night.
Oh yeah, the Steve Jobs Theater, just to see the theater. Oh, hey, like the Forbes in the bath video. Oh, John. Oh, wait a minute. Because of the thing one of the tools I'm going to talk about today, I can show you, I have to show you, John, a picture that he is going to love. It's my profile picture. So let's see if I think this will work.
Oh, because he wasn't here. Oh, this was since last week. Right.
Well, but this was not in the show. Save. No, dang it. Hang on. Do it again. Upload. There we go. Ooh, it made a little snap. Check this picture out, John. You'll like it. We're raising that grandson right. That is something I've wanted to do, to be able to just put a picture into the live chat.
So how
am I doing that?
Yeah.
Well, with that tool I'm going to talk about, Team Paper Snap.
Okay. Technically, it's not in the chat, but it's a link. It's a very quick way to get.
Right, but it's a way to not have to have something already uploaded. So if I've got a photo in my photos gallery, sometimes I want to show it to people in the live chat room and I can just do it. And I didn't realize it makes a snap noise. It goes like this. Whoops, not like that. Like that. It's Team Paper Snap. And I'll be talking about it later in the show. Okay, let's listen to Alistair for a second here. And to Alistair.
This piece
was fantastic. So let's have a listen to Alistair.
This piece started out as a simple review.
Real quick. Listen to Alistair.
This piece started out as a simple review of one piece of software. And where a bit of storytelling is in order.
Yay,
some listeners will know that I once had a podcast of my own. Technically, I still do, but it's a pretty rare release these days. I started right around the same time Alison did, but instead of tech, my podcast was about music. I was listening to Adam Curry's Daily Source Code podcast as he began to imagine the future of music and podcasting. He set up the PodSafe Music Network and PodShow. I had all I needed to get underway as I reached the I could do this point. I hosted on PodShow's service and sourced all the music I played from the PodSafe Music Network. Importantly, my recording was done with the very simple Cast Blaster software, which was commissioned by PodShow. Cast Blaster followed Adam's own preferred model of recording, live in one take. For Windows application, it was a player and recorder, with a number of part slots for jingles, more for music tracks, plus basic recording and playback controls. After setting up your record, I could then fire your jingles and music, open and close the microphone, and monitor things as you went.
So you're hearing the audio cutting in and out, Steve?
Yes, I am. I thought it might just be the Hangout feed, but are you hearing it?
It might be the Hangout feed. No, John is saying he's hearing it.
Yeah.
So is Oklahoma.
Let's see. Why? That sounded more like a network problem, not a recording.
Yeah. So let's check and see what's going on with if I'm running an backups or something, but our pipe is so big I usually don't worry about it. Let's see which one's network. That one's network. What's going on here? Let's see. I'm on there. I mean, it's kilobytes per second going up and down right now. Let me turn Wi-Fi off and make sure I don't lose you. Oh, that's weird. I'm also on TallDart for some reason.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. Well, I'm hardwired to Wi-Fi or to cellular. I'm still there, right?
Yep.
Oh, here's a question. Is my audio bad when I'm talking to you? Is it only playback?
No. Although, yeah, I have not heard you garble out like that.
Okay, let's ask. So George, John, everybody, do you hear me? Do I sound garbly, or is it just Alistair's playback? Your audio's fine. Huh. Let me play a little bit more of Alistair. So this is from Hindenburg.
When done recording, it had features to add tags, encode to MP3, and upload to a server. It was a one-stop shop, and I loved it. All forward 16 months, and I ditched my PC for my first Mac. Many Mac users and do with GarageBand. But I necessarily had to completely change how I record.
All right, let me try quitting Hindenburg and starting it again. Can you turn it off and turn it on again? Open recent. That's today's, right? Okay, so I'm presuming it's just any playback. Like playback of me would also do that.
And then have the Mac and iOS apps link up wirelessly on the same Wi-Fi network
Okay, I'm playing it again.
to load up the configuration. This whole process is a little esoteric, but not hard if you follow the fairly comprehensive documentation. By trial and error, I was able to tie up the control surface.
So
That was fine.
Oh, it's better?
I didn't hear that last playback. Was fine.
Okay. George and Daniel are both saying definitely him. Well, it's not really him. It's the
I think
recording.
there's some delay in what you're seeing in the chat room.
Okay. So we'll give it a second here. Try playing it locally to verify your system is okay. George says, okay, it was fine that time. Good, Nick. Yeah, no, I'm hearing what you guys should be hearing, but I'm hearing it straight off the app. I'm not hearing it through the okay, so something was funny with Hindenburg.
So it's not garbled for you?
No, it's never been garbled for me. It sounded fine, but I'm not here. I'm hearing it directly from Hindenburg is going straight to my headphones. I'm not hearing it through the internet. Okay, no garbling that time. Good. I'm glad you guys told me.
Why don't you just start it over?
Can you turn it off and turn it on again? No, that's good. Okay.
Recording is once again enjoyable and live in one take. Let's see if I can pump out some more Sitting Duck podcasts this year. Links for all of the software mentioned are in the show notes.
Well, hey, thanks, Alistair. That was great. I think anything that makes you do more podcasting is a good thing. Makes me wish that I liked music, but at least for everybody else, it gives you the opportunity to get back in and have some more fun with it. I did actually listen to a couple of episodes of the Sitting Duck podcast, and I kind of liked it, even without liking music. So, go figure. Well, speaking of listener reviews, Denise has sent in a review of an interesting product that I'm sure you've heard about, but to hear it from one of our very own Nosilla castaways is even more fun. Let's listen to Denise. All right. Denise got Snapchat spectacles. All right, we'll put her on that track and see what happens. Forbes is pointing at the NASA Eclipse logo. Rose says that he did that when we were on the beach too. Maybe it is a gangster sign, Steve.
Yeah, he was pulling a gangster move there.
But that he did that pointing thing.
We got to keep an eye on that guy.
Ways is even more fun. Let's listen to Denise. Yeah, a little too much gap there. What is that? Cut, no split. Okay. Let's listen to Denise.
Greetings, fellow castaways. Denise Crown here with a review of Snapchat spectacles. In a nutshell, spectacles
She is too quiet. I'm going to raise her up.
Are sunglasses with a built-in camera. We do not violate the PodFeet terms of service, so regulations require we start with the problem to be solved. Say you're out walking the dog, hanging out with friends, at a festival, at an amusement park, or doing some fun outdoor activity. You can
I'm going to bring her down a little bit.
capture some of that without carrying your phone or bolting a GoPro to your head. Before you dismiss this as something only for the millennials, these things are really fun. I tried them outdoors while driving and even in my office, and they worked well as both sunglasses and a video camera. I plan to take them to an upcoming trade show. I feel like Snap took a lot of the complaints people had with Google Glass and came out with a more public-friendly, less creepy version. You can tell when you're being filmed because there's a very visible ring of white light on one temple when the specs are recording. The wearer also knows when their video starts and stops because you can see a light in your peripheral vision. This light has a third purpose. It tells you your battery status. As sunglasses, they're pretty great, well made and not too heavy. They come in teal, red, and black. My only knock on the design is that they're round, and I think that some other styles would be more flattering on more faces. My guess is they were going for a unique look for the early adopters, and they'll soon make more mainstream shapes and colors. Specs will record about 100 snaps, which is a 10-second segment per charge. So you can have a pretty good day on the town, considering the charging case will charge them 4 times. So you're good for about 400 snaps before you need to find electricity or a USB port. You can link 3 snaps together for a 30-second video. There are 2 resolution choices,
Okay. Time to keep moving. Let's see.
Can be returned within 30 days and carry a 1-year warranty. I highly recommend them.
You know, I never would have thought of Snapchat spectacles as actually being something this good. After listening to Denise, I happened to mention the review she did to our friend Pat Dengler, and she came over last night and she brought her pair over. And they are really well made. Like Denise said, they're kind of heavy, but not heavy in a bad way, heavy as in well constructed. You know, they look kind of cartoony, but they're really, really well constructed. And the case is really cool, like she said. And it was really fun to play around with them and take videos. I was surprised we never figured out how to take photos with them, but taking videos was super easy. So we took some videos of Forbes and playing around on the ground with him, and it was really, really great fun. So I really appreciate Denise doing this, and I did force her to send me a photo of her actually wearing the glasses, and she submitted under duress. She did allow us to have that photo. Well, right about this time of the show, I usually talk to you about ways you can support the NosillaCast and other Podfeed podcasts, you know, like contributing to the Podfeed Patreon or using my Amazon affiliate links. But this week, I'd like to suggest you contribute to Bart's Patreon. Bart does 2 great podcasts of his own over at lets-talk.ie. There's Let's Talk Apple, which is a monthly analysis of the month's news about Apple with a rotating panel of interesting guests. Let's Talk Photography is also monthly, and it's about the art of photography, not about gear, but how to create great photographs. Bart does these shows and creates the amazing tutorials for programming by stealth and creates the bi-monthly security bits, all for the love of these subjects. But hosting his shows does cost money, so he has a Patreon to try to offset these costs. If you listen to his shows, or if you only listen to him here on the Podfeed podcast, I'd really like you to consider going to patreon.com/LTPod. There's a link in the show notes, and help him and support him in all the great things that he does for all of us. Right. I was getting a little bit of clicking in there. Okay. Time to talk about great grandma.
Otherwise known as Mom.
Mom to Steve. By the way, I sent this article to Steve's mom, and she said, my name is Merle, and I endorse this blog post. So, okay, what did you have Kevin do?
He couldn't get the video through your website, so I just gave him the YouTube link.
I wonder what's going on. Did you hear people are shooting into the hurricane? Yeah, everybody knows you only do that with Sharknadoes. Duh.
Yeah.
Come on.
Makes sense.
Totally. All right, here we go. Save. What? File : / system library core services Finder app could not be opened. Oh, that's good, Ian. That's awesome. All right. Steve's mother, Merle, is very clever and quick learning new things. So we thought it was time to try to convince her to move from a flip phone to an iPhone. I should mention that her flip phone lives in a drawer and never gets to come out to play unless she's on a vacation. Steve's father, Ken, also has a flip phone he brings out for vacations, but he tends to be more resistant to trying new things in the technology department. I have observed, though, that when Merle moves out on new tech, sometimes Ken watches over her shoulder and he eventually jumps in. Ken was convinced, though, that Merle did not need an iPhone and that it would be excessively complex and she would never use it. He was also concerned about the cost. He pointed out that he only pays something like $40 a year for 2 phones with 20 minutes of calls and some limited number of text messages. So if it was more than that, it would be a big waste of money. One of our main motivations for getting Merle onto a smartphone was because of how much she misses. When Merle and Ken take the entire family on vacation, they often miss meeting spots and planning because they are not on the text message threads. Steve's nephew did spend some time with Merle, teaching her to text on her flip phone, and she actually succeeded once or twice at reading and sending messages, but it was painful to watch how hard she was having to work at it. We were at the beach one day, and I had to tease her because she kept playing with her phone instead of enjoying the surroundings. What that did tell us, though, was that she was motivated, and that meant we figured we had a high probability of success. Right around the time we were thinking of doing this, Kyle's girlfriend, Nikki, gave me her old iPhone. It was a 16-gigabyte iPhone 6, and she didn't care if we sold it or gave it away. I suggested to her that it go to Merle, and she was delighted. Nikki adores Merle, so this was a perfect fit. Another reason we thought she was ready is because she already uses and loves her iPad. She wasn't convinced that the iPhone had any great value because she already has the iPad, but she was willing to give it a go. She was even more excited when I told her we could add her to our family plan on AT&T for only $15 a month. We share 18 gigabytes amongst the four of us, and we rarely get close to using all of it, and I figured she probably wouldn't be a big drain on our data usage anyway. Now that we had her on board, we had to plan a strategy. Merle and Ken are about 2 hours away in San Diego, and one of the mistakes we've made in the past is to dump new technology on them in a short visit and then run away back home. Either things stop working as expected or they forget something we did. Either way, this is not an ideal way to do it. With something as complex as a new phone, it seemed that strategy would be unsuccessful in the end. Lindsay and Nolan, and more importantly, Forbes, live in San Diego as well, and we had a trip planned to go take care of Forbes while Lindsay and Nolan went off on a mini vacation. So we decided to combine the two plans. We'd go down to Forbes on Friday, and on Saturday make a day trip to introduce Merle to the phone. We'd limit what we taught her to some basics. Then we'd scuttle off back to Lindsay's house and leave Merle alone with the phone for a day, but then turn around and come back on Monday after we were done taking care of Forbes and stay the night. That would give her a chance to play with it for a bit, get some questions together, and then teach her a few more things if it was going well. With that part of the strategy complete, now we had to think about what we needed to teach her, what we wanted to teach her, and what parts of using a smartphone could or should be moved off to a future visit. We started with a shared wonder list between Steve and me, where we simply brainstormed everything we could teach her. By the way, I know Wunderlist is being deprecated, but I still don't have a viable alternative, so if anybody has any ideas, let me know. Anyway, once we had a list together, we started to drag the subjects up and down into an order that made sense. We added additional subtasks to some of the items to kind of flesh out our strategy. Setting up the order was an interesting thought process. We looked through our list and tried to figure out which items would be the most motivating to her to actually carry the iPhone around with her. If we could get her to carry it and keep it turned on, then the other items would be easier to sell. Steve's parents are very conscious about safety. It's not just that they're of advanced years. They've always been this way. I think it's because Ken worked in the insurance industry and saw what awful things can happen to people. Personally, I don't think I'd be able to step outside if I ever had a job in insurance. Anyway, with safety as a top priority, we gathered together those topics about the iPhone that would help increase her safety. We explained that if she had her iPhone with her, she could dial emergency services at any time. If she were out alone and she were in trouble, if she were with Ken and something happened to him, or if she saw someone else in distress, she'd be able to immediately get assistance. Find friends was next on our list. She's going to be living closer to one of her daughters eventually, and so it'd be nice for her daughter to be able to see where she is, again, for safety reasons. She could also see where all of us are when we're on vacation together. Whenever we go see her, we use the mapping app Glimpse to show her exactly when we'll be arriving, so she knows the value of being able to see someone on a map. Whenever we travel, Ken reminds us to pack flashlights. I showed Merle how her new phone is also a flashlight, and she was delighted. I threw out a few scenarios for using it, like finding a keyhole in the dark, walking in the evening, where tripping had a high probability. At least it does for me in the dark. I have trouble with that. Both Ken and Merle are also very much focused on security. Ken is famous for his starring role in the video Octogenarian Talks About 1Password on YouTube, where he explains his belief in the importance of using a password manager. However, he and Merle don't have quite enough faith to put their 1Password vault online. I can respect their decision, even though I've made another choice. But that meant, though, that convincing her to use 1Password on her phone was a non-starter. But I could help her to learn to use Touch ID to log into her phone. It's good to work with other people on something like this because you begin to learn that some things don't work well for everyone. I think I must have the perfect finger dampness level because it's pretty flawless for me unless I've just jumped out of the shower. Kyle's fingers are a bit too damp, and it turns out Merle's are a bit too dry. It took quite a few times to teach the phone her fingerprint. I told her to lick her finger before using it, and she looked at me like I had two heads, but sure enough, Touch ID worked better for her when she did lick her finger first. I'm not sure she's going to keep doing that, but she's got a good passcode, so I think she'll be okay. Now, Marlee does like to take pictures, but only carries a camera on vacations. I showed her how to use the camera on her iPhone, and she loved it. She immediately took a photo of Forbes sound asleep on the floor and was delighted that she could capture that moment. As I mentioned up front, we really wanted to get Marlee into text messaging. We had a phased strategy to get her on board. First, I taught her how to use iMessage while I was with her. Then we told her 2 daughters about the iPhone while we were away that one day, encouraging them to text her. Then after we left on Monday, I wrote to all of her nieces and nephews and encouraged them to start dropping her silly little notes about their lives. While I was teaching Marlee about iMessage, I explained to her that she could attach photos. Marlee wrote a message to Lindsay and attached her picture of Forbes asleep on the floor. Imagine Marlee's delight when she was able to share that and then get back a super happy message from Lindsay, who was missing her baby desperately. Later, when we connected her into a message thread with her 2 daughters, she found out that her son-in-law was getting a tattoo and not only saw pictures of her family out and about, but also got to see the tattoo. Side note here, the tattoo was pretty cool. A couple of years ago, this seemingly perfectly healthy man had what they call a widowmaker heart attack. Because of the quick action of a bystander who saw him on the sidewalk next to his bicycle, he survived this heart attack. And he survived it well. The tattoo he got shows a flat line, and above it, it says, "Not today," and then a heartbeat going after that. Gives me chills just to think about it. Anyway, Marlee knew all of this because of her new iPhone. Now, Marlee wasn't bad at all at typing on her iPhone, considering it was her first day. I explained to her that typos are much more forgivable in text messaging because everybody knows how hard it is to type on our little phones. She seemed to accept that, so I showed her how she could dictate into the phone and then just fix any typos it made. She was thrilled. She immediately started writing more complex and lengthy messages, another hurdle overcome. Now, Marlee is a frequent beneficiary of FaceTime from her family. We're almost all on iOS. She receives them on her iPad and her Mac, so seeing it on her iPhone wasn't a huge thrill, but the first time it happens when she's not at home, I think she'll get how cool this is. Now, I'm not sure when I did this for her, but I had already turned on iCloud Photo Library on her Mac and on her iPad. She didn't do too much on her iPad, but when I showed her all of her photos were on her phone, she was yet again delighted. I thought another good strategy would be to help her customize her iPhone to her liking. I first moved all of the applications she would be unlikely to use onto a second screen. Then I took her into the accessibility section of the phone. Marlee is blessed with terrific vision, using glasses only for super close-up work. I showed her where she could change the font size, and I let her drag the slider up and down until she found a spot where it was easily readable for her. Now, letting her do this herself, I think it helped her feel she was controlling her own environment, and that helps with ownership of the device. Next, we went on to ringtones, which I thought she wouldn't care about. I was wrong. She has a friend who has a super annoying ringtone, you know, one of those ones that goes on and on and on. Well, because of that, she wanted something simple and not annoying to others. I think she really enjoyed picking that out herself. Next, I explained that she could modify her desktop wallpaper and the lock screen on her phone. I figured she'd say she didn't care about that, but again, I was wrong. She had just received a photo of a painting of her father's cabin on Spirit Lake in Idaho. Even though it was a landscape image, we were able to slide it around and make it fit perfectly. When she saw her phone's lock screen showing that precious memory to her, she held the phone to her chest. It got to her heart. And I think that's the real magic pixie dust that Apple has put into the phones. They give us that visceral level emotional connection. It's hard to explain, but you know when you feel it. Now, we also thought that she would want us to put her music on her phone. But again, we were wrong. She said she has it on her iPod and she walks with her iPod in her pocket. So why would she need it on her phone? We tried to explain that having her phone with her was a safety feature and easy enough to carry, but she really didn't want to take that step yet. We have a feeling that once she gets used to keeping the phone with her, she'll want her music, but there's really no need to push her into that now. Now, what better way to customize an iPhone than to get your own case? Way back in the iPad Pro keyboard debacle, remember I actually ended up making money on that deal? Apple gave me a store gift card to replace the iPad Pro that was more than what I paid for it originally. So I had just enough money left to buy Marlee a new case. We went to the Apple store and she picked out one just perfect for her. And again, she was delighted. Now, remember our strategy to come back 2 days later to see how she was doing? Well, get this. She showed me a really adorable thank you note that she'd gotten from her great-granddaughter, Selah, and her great-grandson, Jack. On the note, Selah had written 100% and a smiley face next to it, and then 60% and a frowny face. Marlee was confused about what it could mean. But here's the best part. She whipped out her new iPhone and showed me that she had texted a photo of the note and texted it to her daughter, Linda, to see if she could interpret what it meant. I love that she was already comfortable enough to do all that with her new phone. By the way, in case you were wondering, Selah was 100% happy to have spent so much fun time with her great-grandmother on vacation and 60% sad to leave her. Well, I hope this little story will help you if you ever find yourself trying to convince someone to get a new smartphone. Remember to make a strategy that includes getting them comfortable at their own pace and figuring out what's important to them first, not what you think is cool about a device. And most of all, be prepared to be wrong about what they will care about. I'm tired. You talk for a while, Steve.
We were just trying to figure out when the Apple event is in the UK, and we think it's 6.
Yeah, 8 hours. So 10 o'clock would be 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So Haley, you can be here.
Looks like the
NASA that's using Team Paper Snap. Did you already have it, John?
He's showing us that Irma is going up through Alabama, where he is now. It probably won't be a hurricane by that point. I'm guessing a tropical storm or maybe just strong winds. But
so, John, did you already have Team Paper Snap? I missed a lot. You guys have been chattering away. This could be one of those cases where Steve says, so what were you talking about today? I saw 2 major typos and I managed to speak over them correctly, but my quality control director is slipping.
He just downloaded it. Oh, do I need to edit something?
Yeah, but I don't remember what it was. So what's next? Next up,
looking for something like this. This is pretty cool. Maybe I need to download it.
Yeah, that's funny. Because my review, I went back and forth on whether I thought it was a good tool or not for a long time. And I actually wrote this review in May and I forgot all about it, never finished it. So
in fact, this appears to be your next blog post.
Right after Yope.
Oh, wait. Yope.
Let me listen to his
I don't
name.
see. Oh, this hasn't been posted yet.
Okay, there we go. Yope. Okay, here we go. This is cool. Let's see. No, let me think about this. If you ever write into the NosillaCast with something really cool, you need to realize that you will be punished by being asked to make a recording. This happened to someone just recently, and I will let him tell it to you in his own voice. That didn't cut off, but that's okay. All right. This is Joop from the Netherlands. I've wanted to know how to pronounce this guy's name for a long time. It's spelled J-O-O-P. It is Joop. Here we go. Just recently, and I will let him tell it to you in his own voice.
Good morning, Alison and NosillaCast listeners. This is Joop from the slowly turning into autumn Netherlands. Last Monday, during my morning commutes into work, I was listening to the latest NosillaCast. And I heard Bart mentioning the importance of a good backup as part of the security strategy. And I do so much agree. So I thought, let me describe my setup to your listeners. Maybe this might be useful to them in some way. So here at home, I have a number of Macs and MacBooks and a Linux server. And I have all my Macs set up to use Apple's Time Machine backup. When you initially set up Time Machine on the Mac, it will ask you to point it to a backup device. And that's basically all the configuration you have to do to make it work.
All right. I'm going to. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a healthy length show when I'm done.
Shouldn't WordPress have a spell check in it?
Well, Feeder does, or Mars Edit does.
You'd think a blog post editor would tell you if you've misspelled something.
I think it's the web browser that would have to have it. But my
the website couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's not WordPress itself that would do it. Let me see if I can see. Let's see. The problem is it's sort of like it catches typos if you do them immediately, but then they disappear. Like, I don't know. It says, okay, I guess you don't really see a problem here.
You weren't paying attention, so you lose the privilege.
So I don't see any type. The only thing that's underlined in that whole post is Selah, because it doesn't know how to spell Selah, but all right.
C'est la vie.
You're funny, Steve. Who did I sound like? Steve. One of the characters in one of your favorite Christmas cartoons. Can you hear it?
I'm not sure Christmas, but it sounded almost like
Steve. Yeah, like I can just picture this animated puppet talking.
Cheese and Gromit.
Wallace and Gromit? No. It's definitely. It's like a sad.
It sounded like one of the characters on the Davy and.
Davy and Goliath. That is who it is. Do you guys? Okay, Sandy's probably the only one who's as old as us who could remember this. But you remember Davy and Goliath? On Sundays, the only kids show was this show called Davy and Goliath.
Was that was kind of a claymation type of
claymation, quasi-religious. It wasn't great, but it was the only kids show, so everybody watched it.
Sunday mornings, right?
Yeah all right, hey, I'm not great at WordPress, but if you need any help, let me know. I know you keep claiming that, but you don't look it, so I'm not gonna say it. What am I supposed to say? Sandy's way older than me. She'll remember this. All right, here we go. Davy and Goliath. There it is. Wait, is it Davy and Goliath?
Yeah, that's it.
I thought it was Davy and a dog. Well, anyway.
Goliath, okay. I think Goliath is the dog.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Or like we say here, heb een fijne dag en veel plezier.
Well, Joop, I thank you so much for making this recording. One of the reasons I like to punish people and make them do recordings is, as Joop found out, it's hard to do these recordings. Anyway, this is fantastic, Joop. I really, really like that. It's something I'm going to aspire to. I'm not sure I'll be able to get up to your level, but it's pretty cool to learn about. And learning about how Joop uses Amazon Glacier right after learning about B2 from Backblaze that Alistair uses, I'm really starting to think about what stuff I can put offsite that I never thought I could really afford to do before. So I really thank you for sending this in, Joop. This was fantastic. All right. Now we're going to learn about Team Paper Snap. I'm going to have to find a place to ad lib how I've actually been using it in the chat room. Okay, here we go. I take a lot of screenshots for quite a few different uses. I like to use them in my blog posts when I'm reviewing applications. I like to use them when doing tech support and emails to my friends and family, and also to send in to listeners who write in with questions. I also use screenshots to demonstrate problem areas when communicating with software developers about their products. I'd like to tell you about a menu bar app called Team Paper Snap that might be a better tool for you than some of the built-in capabilities of macOS. But first, let's set up some problems to be solved. I do so many screenshots that I'm pretty comfortable using the keystrokes built into macOS to capture a specific area, an application window, or even full screen. For many people, okay. That's two audio typos in a row. I do so many screenshots that I'm pretty comfortable using the keystrokes that are built into macOS to capture a specific area, an application window, or even full screen. Some, or I should say many people, for many of these, come on, twice? Try it again. I do so many screenshots that I'm pretty comfortable using the keystrokes built into macOS to capture a specific area, an application window, or even full screen. For some, or maybe many people, remembering those keystrokes is a real big pain, and so they just don't do it. Apple has the built-in Grab application. If you didn't hear about that, you'll find it in Application/Utilities, and that might be easier for you. It's a pretty useful tool with timed screenshots that's handy for capturing a pull-down window. But once a screen capture has been acquired, it's often desirable to add some annotations. Now, you know I'm a huge fan of Clarify from clarify-it.com for using a series of screenshots and annotating them. But most of the time, I only need to get my point across with a single screenshot, and that's a bit of a sledgehammer for this single shot need. For my one-shot annotation needs, I usually do the Command-Control-Shift-4 keystroke dance to capture an area to the clipboard. And then I open Preview with Spotlight, and then I hit Command-N for a new window from the clipboard, and my screenshot opens. Sometimes, if I'm feeling frisky, I tap on the touch bar and select Open in Preview first instead of doing Command-N. Once I'm in Preview, I tap on the toolbox to reveal the tools to annotate the image. In recent versions of macOS, you can also paste a screenshot directly into an email and hit the little disclosure triangle to open it in markup and annotate that image as required, with shapes and text. It's the same features that are available in Preview if you hit that little toolbox. It works, but it's got some drawbacks. The main thing I don't like about annotating in Preview/markup is how you don't get to just draw the shapes where you want them. When you hit the box icon, for example, it just plops a box on the screenshot immediately. Then you have to drag the top, bottom, left, and right independently to get it to where you want it. Same thing with an arrow. You have to drag the start and end points around to get it pointing where you want it. So I think it's much more efficient to just draw a box or click and drag an arrow. I do like the flexibility of colors and line thicknesses and font size in Preview. Take a break. All right. Where'd I go? Here we go. Now let's talk about TeamPaper Snap from teampaper.me. It's a free menu bar app. One tap can take a screenshot, and you've got one tap on take screenshot. One tap on take screenshot, and you've got crosshairs ready to capture a portion of the screen. Hit the spacebar to select an entire window, just like the built-in screen capture tools in macOS, and then click to capture. Or if you like keystrokes, you have the option to set one in preferences. Once you capture an area of your screen, the screenshot immediately opens in a floating heads-up kind of a window. It's ready to be annotated immediately, rather than having to run over to Preview for that part of your workflow. Now, there's no requirement to remember those pesky keystrokes, and already it's faster to get to the annotations. Now, remember how I'm always annoyed at how Preview plops the annotations in the middle of the screen instead of allowing you to draw them in place? TeamPaper Snap lets you draw arrows, lines, boxes, circles, and text at a location and direction and size of your choosing. This is a much more efficient method of annotating images. You can choose different colors for your annotations, but your choices are a pale red, a pale orange/yellow, and a pale green. Want another color or a brighter, more bold color? Nope, that's what you get. Want the line thickness of the arrows and boxes to be thicker at times? Nope, that's the line thickness you get. I wrote to them and I said, how about more colors and how about more line thickness? And they said, yeah, no, we're not doing that. Oh well. TeamPaper Snap has several cool tools that make it really useful. It has a blur tool designated by a water droplet in the toolbar, and that is invaluable for obscuring that home address or phone number that's in your screenshot. In Preview and Markup, you can only plop a rectangular blob of color on top of your personal information. I really wish Preview had a blur tool. Just this week, Steve wanted to post a picture of the crazy expiration date we got on our gas credit cards. It was hilarious. It was, I forget what the year was, but I know I'll be 91 when these expire. Anyway, he wanted to do that, but he needed a blur tool, and he didn't have an easy blur tool. We ended up plopping a big blob of color on it with Preview, and we could have been using TeamPaper Snap. By the way, Steve said, can you change how blurry it is? Nope, that's how blurry you get it. It's blurry enough. Probably one of the most unusual features of TeamPaper Snap is the ability to add numbered bubbles on your screenshot and add comments on the side of the shot to explain them. You tap a red circle with a 1 in it to start putting in comments. Tap on the area where you want the bubble to be, and then a comment field comes up where you can type some text. When you save the annotated image, the comments appear on the right side of the annotated image. It's pretty slick and reminds me a little bit of the way Clarify does the same thing. Once you've captured your screenshots and you've annotated it, you have several options of what to do with it. If you choose to save the image locally, the name of the resultant file will include the name of the app you were capturing, along with the date and time of the capture. I like that they include the name of the app, and of course, you could rename it in the standard dialog box if you prefer. Alternatively, you can copy your screenshot directly to the clipboard. Actually, it's automatically copied to the clipboard, so you don't actually have to do anything. You can just move along and paste it somewhere. It's perfect for if you don't want to clutter up your delete me folder, but just want to paste it into an email or maybe a message. Finally, you can save your screenshots to a free online account hosted by Team Paper Snap. The advantage of that last option becomes obvious when you need to share an image with someone when a simple paste into an email or message is not an option. I've run into this on discussion forums and also when posting a bug report or feature request to a software developer. As soon as you hit upload, you'll see a message that the link to the screenshot is already in your clipboard. There could not be an easier way to share a screenshot. In fact, in the live chat room, one of the things I always want to do is show people pictures of something. It might be a photo, probably of Forbes, but it might be a photo or anything else that I want to share with them. And during the show tonight, I just grabbed a couple of pictures, plopped in the link immediately. I mean, it's just so easy. You grab the screenshot, you hit paste, you've got a link. It's fantastic. In fact, John, who goes by NASA Nut in the chat room, liked it so much, he downloaded it while we've been in the chat room, and he was able to show us a picture of where the hurricane is going right now, and that it was probably going to be getting close to him. So it was fantastic that he was able to just grab that and paste it in. By the way, it does remind me a lot of Sketch that was, it was eventually bought by Evernote. I haven't used it in a long time. I'm not sure if it's still out there, but I think it is. Once you've created a free account for Team Paper Snap and you do your first upload, you'll see a change to the pull-down menu. You can now go to My Gallery, which contains all of your uploaded images at, let's see. Gonna stop there because I found another typo. I wrote, it auto-corrected to Topper, and I found another typo. I had already did have Sketch in there, and I was.
Do you want me to fix those?
No, I better get it. What is the real keyboard? What is it? TPPR.
I really like this.
Do you?
It's very transparent. It's quick and easy. I mean, this is just what I'm looking for. I don't want to have to open an app and have, a lot of friction.
Yeah.
Sketch has a little bit, not much, but this has none.
Oh, nice. I really wasn't going to do this review because I didn't think it was that great of an app. But once you've created, good. Plus, it's got blur.
Right. That's what I have to do a lot, and occasionally annotate. I don't mind that it's limited by what it can do.
Okay. All right.
Now, if you have to do something more fancy, I think Sketch is probably better.
Sketch? Oh, do you use Sketch still? Is it still out there?
I have it loaded, so I don't know how much it is because it says open.
It used to be free
in the App Store. Anyone not have Sketch? Can you look it up in the App Store and see how much it is? If it's
I don't have it loaded on this.
Try. Look.
Is it in the App Store?
It is. It's got a different logo than I recall, maybe because it was bought.
Yeah. It's had that logo for a long time.
Has it? That looks.
Yeah, it's free.
It's free. Okay.
Yeah.
That's more capable, I think.
Nah, I don't know. I'll get hate mail, so that's great. All right, let's see if it's still out there, but I think it is. Okay. This just in, Steve just told me that it is in the Mac App Store, so Sketch is still there. Haven't used it in a while. It's probably still great. Anyway, once you've created a free account for Team Paper Snap and you do your first upload, you'll see a change to the pull-down menu. You can now go to My Gallery, which contains all of your uploaded images that are at tppr.me. They also allow you to drag and drop any image into your gallery, so it's not restricted to images taken with Team Paper Snap. From there, you can grab a link or delete your uploaded images one by one. Keep in mind, these are public images, so don't upload anything you don't want discovered. In a real meta moment, You'll notice that your uploaded images can also have annotations added after the fact within the web interface. Simply click and drag an area and a comment box will be revealed. They've set this up to allow collaboration even with people who don't have TeamPaper Snap accounts. I sent a link to an image to Pat Dengler, and she was able to add a second comment on one I'd made to the image, and she was able to create a unique comment. These comments are designated, again, by the red bubbles with numbers in them. Now, I said up front that TeamPaper Snap is free. If you put annotations on a screenshot, they embed their logo in the bottom right. They have an in-app purchase of $20 that allows you to put your own logo in the bottom right instead of theirs. I like the way they offer this. They say, and I'm quoting here, "App will always be free. Think of it as a special way of supporting our feature work." I think they might have meant future work, but in any case, I think that's a good way to explain their business model. If you're in business and making these screenshots, you would probably want your own logo. By the way, if you don't put any comments in and you just do annotations, there is no logo of theirs in your screenshots. We've been going crazy in the live chat room. Steve has downloaded it, installed it, says it's perfect for what he's been looking for. So who knew? I didn't try to talk him into it. He just thought it was great based on what he saw already. So if you're looking for a way to take quick screenshots, do a few annotations in an easier way than markup with Preview, and really wish Preview had a blur feature, or you want to be able to post your screenshots online, check out the free TeamPaper Snap in the Mac App Store or over at teampaper.me. Wow, I'm glad I did that one. I was really like, I didn't like it that much, but I guess I should talk about it.
Ian was wondering whether Sketch is 64-bit.
In
fact, that could be true with TeamPaper Snap. But
that's a pretty new app. I would suspect it is.
Okay.
By the way, tomorrow, it's not up yet, the people at Blue Mango Learning are going to announce that they are not going to keep developing Clarify at all. Could not be sadder about that.
Say that again, John. Say that.
Clarify. That. They're not going to be upgrading it. They're done.
Really?
They may make it 64-bit so it goes to the next OS, but it's just going to be sitting in maintenance mode from now on. So, I mean, it's still there.
That's probably been the longest app you've used.
Yeah.
In fact, you have a lot of things. Will you still be able to access?
Well, if you've been using their online, if you have anything loaded in their online stuff at clarify-it, so you'd get like a vanity URL, clarify-it/podfeed or whatever. If you've been using that, all those images will go away. That's going to be taken down.
Oh.
Yeah, sad.
That's bad.
Yeah, I didn't end up using that, so it wasn't that part wasn't a big deal to me. But if it doesn't exist past, so High Sierra will take non-64-bit apps. That's not a problem. So it will work through High Sierra. It's the one after that that's going to be 64-bit only. And then I told him I'd buy him a cup of coffee if he would fix it. If he would make it work, but I don't think
Nick says that he could download Sketch from the App Store, but it's not listed in settings general about applications. So
that's odd. Is it maybe it's only a menu bar app though?
Well, so this is an iOS.
On iOS?
On the Mac.
Well, you were talking about on the Mac, weren't you?
No. Well, Nick said iOS 11 allowed me to download it in the App Store. So we're talking.
Hey, Nick is saying no. Set Nick right. Jeff Brissett. JF. Hey, Jeff, you're about to hear the very end of the show because it is 5:59 at my house. But hi, JF. That's the first time.
JF made it.
Yay, that's very exciting. JF is a good friend of ours. We've been hanging out with every time we go to Vegas, we go out and see him. And he works for Apple and he works for Don McAllister now. So good friend of ours. That's basic.
Give me a drink.
That's very exciting that you're here.
So we're in Vegas. We'll buy you a drink, JF.
There you go. Jeff, we're all gonna be here on Tuesday in the same chat room. So if you can come join us, if you're looking for a place to hang out and get your text expander snippets ready. You should have one that says, "My stream is frozen, is yours." What did he say?
The video truck, is that the feed from the video truck?
And there's, what? I can't believe it costs so much. Get those ready. You just got to have them ready at your fingertips.
By the way, remind people there will be no video. It's just the chat room.
Yes.
We're not going to be live. You're not going to be broadcasting.
Brett will be there in November. Yes, I will not be live. I did say that in the announcement, by the way, dear.
Okay, good.
I know you don't listen. Okay, I'm going to, let me finish recording here. Well, that's going to wind us up for this week. Do not forget to send in your dumb questions, comments, and suggestions by emailing me at allison@podfeed.com. And you can follow me on Twitter at Podfeed. Now, remember, everything good starts with podfeed.com. We've got podfeed.com/Patreon. But don't go to mine. Go to patreon.com/LTpod. Remember, go to Bart's. Go donate to him this week. And then go to, let's see, if you want to join in the conversation, you can go to podfeed.com/Facebook or podfeed.com/Google+. Your choice. We don't discriminate. And if you want to use the Amazon affiliate links, podfeed.com/Amazon. And if you want to join in the fun of the live show or join us to talk in chat during the Big Apple announcement, head on over to podfeed.com/live. And to see the live show on normal times, you'd see it on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic Nosilla castaways like JF Brissett did for the first time this week. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Boom. Boom. Shout out for JF. He's a taskmaster. Yeah, he is. I hate that guy.
John points out the last one to arrive buys the drinks.
Is that what it is?
That's
all right.
Fortunately, several people left, JF, so it's only about 10 drinks.
10 people you have to buy for. All right, let's see. Let's get this in place. Yeah, we'll be out for CES again, JF. And we'll tell you at the last minute when we're there. That seems to be the way he likes it, right?
Okay, Nick clarified it was OS 10 and compatibility is 64-bit. So
that's for Sketch, right?
Team Paper.
Oh, for Team Paper Snap?
Yeah, I don't know about Sketch.
Okay, cool. Oh, JF was here before. Let's do Maggiano's again. Yeah, that's good. Listening and stay subscribed. I like it there. Ah!
You okay there, Podfeed?
No, that was weird. What was that? Oh, that's reminding. What is that? No, my piece of audio just disappeared.
Sounds like a direct from somebody.
Yeah, it is. Rose sent a photo to us. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Yeah, Rose, you're sending us Facebook stuff while we're in the middle of the recording. All right. Sketch is 64-bit, and so is Team Paper Snap. Good.
Okay. They will survive.
Oh, John has decided on... Oh, are we picking out what drinks JF is going to buy us? I like this. It's awesome. Okay, how long did we pull off on the show? 48 minutes. That's pretty good. That's the scream we would hear when Podfeed sees it. I
do need to take you to it.
Way I am going to go see that show. No, I'm not. I don't even like to see that. I mean, it scared the cops. Come on.
Did you see? Oh, you got to post the. I'll just describe it. So
you can post a picture, find a picture, and Team Paper Snap it into the chat room.
I can recover it.
Look at you. So the show will probably never get posted tonight because I mentioned at the beginning that there's a guy who really, truly wants the length of time that the show is going to be visible in the podcast app on iOS. And it doesn't show right now. And the only way I can fix it is by radically changing the way I upload the podcast. So tonight I'm going to try to radically change the way I upload the podcast. We'll see. Probably all go horribly wrong. All right. Hope to see you too, Ian. So it is 6:05. We are now into production time.
Wait, where do you get the link?
Huh? It's copied to the clipboard.
Automatically? Well, let's see. Okay.
He says that he just listen and pause when he needs to, Allison. Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, there's Rose again. No, Telegram. Oh, I'm hearing it over your headphones or over your side, Steve.
Over mine?
Yeah, because I don't have that sound notification on my Mac.
My sounds are coming through to you?
I swear they are.
Yeah.
I think
she sent it to both of us.
Yeah, but I'm feeling it on my watch, but I swear I'm hearing yours.
Oh, because my watch went off too.
Oh, because you have sound on your audio. That's great. Yeah, that's the thing, Sandy. I asked him, I said, how hard would it be for you to hit play pause? I mean, you don't have to download it. If you hit play pause, it will show you the length on the podcast app. By the way, I'm pretty sure the length shows on the other apps. This guy's really adamant about it, though. He seems he frets quite a bit. Maybe I'm being too nice. It took about 8 emails back and forth for him to convince me that it really wasn't showing. I mean, it isn't the dumbest idea ever, but basically I'm not going to use my FTP client anymore. I'm going to use Feeder to upload the podcast. So it could be catastrophic. We'll see. Might work. Yeah, I'm with you, Sandy. I really should have just told the guy, come on, give me a break. But no, I'm too nice. All right. Well, I think we're good. Think we're golden. Good show. Good show.
Pretty good.
High five. Good show. Good show. Good show. Good show.
High five.
High five.
Virtual high five.
All right. Say goodbye to everybody, Steve.
Good night, Gracie.
All right. And now I want to be the last one to say goodbye because for some reason, Google always picks a picture of Steve. I think Steve's going in and changing it on purpose himself.
Google likes me.
No, stop talking. Stop talking. I want the picture to be of me. No, okay.
I'm talking.
Bye-bye, Steve. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Gotta go. Bye-bye.